A simple live, a calm promotion, and then something no one expected. Millions watched Xiao Zhan smiling on screen, but fans weren't looking at him anymore. They were listening, replaying, questioning, because in the quiet background, they thought they heard him. Could it be Wang Yibo? The live stream began like any other. Soft lighting, a clean studio, a composed and elegant Xiao Zhan greeting his audience with that familiar warmth fans across the world instantly recognize. His voice was steady, calm, almost soothing. He introduced the Angel Water Purifier with professionalism, demonstrating features, explaining benefits, occasionally smiling in that gentle way that feels almost personal. And for the first few minutes, everything was exactly as expected. Fans flooded the comments with hearts, compliments, words of admiration in multiple languages. It was safe, controlled, predictable. But then, something shifted. Not visually, not dramatically, just subtly. A pause that felt half a second too long. A glance that didn't fully match the rhythm of his speech. And then, barely noticeable to the casual viewer, a faint sound. So faint, it could have been ignored. But not by fans. Because when it comes to Xiao Zhan, fans don't just watch. They observe. And in that moment, the live stream stopped being a product promotion and started becoming a mystery. Within minutes, clips began circulating online. Fans replayed the same few seconds over and over again, increasing the volume, slowing the footage, analyzing every pixel, every shadow, every fragment of sound. And that's when the speculation began. Some claimed they heard a male voice in the background. Others pointed out a movement, something passing briefly behind the frame. A shadow, a presence, unconfirmed, unclear, but undeniably intriguing. And then, almost like a spark igniting dry air, one name appeared in the comments. Wang Yibo. At first, it was just a question. Was that him? But questions in fandom spaces rarely stay as questions. They evolve, they spread, they grow louder. Soon, timelines were filled with theories, threads connecting moments, fans comparing past videos, past interviews, past habits, the way a voice sounds when it's off camera, the way someone might move even when unseen. It wasn't just curiosity anymore. It was emotional memory. Because when fans think of Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo together, they're not just thinking about two individuals. They're remembering something bigger. To understand the intensity of this moment, you have to go back to the phenomenon that changed everything. The Untamed, a drama that didn't just succeed. It resonated deeply, globally, emotionally. It created a connection that went beyond the screen. A chemistry that felt real enough to hold on to even after the final episode faded to black. And ever since then, every glance, every interaction, every shared space, even the possibility of one, has carried weight. So when fans heard that faint sound during the live stream, they didn't just hear noise. They heard possibility. The possibility that somewhere just out of frame, Wang Yibo might have been there. Not as a public appearance, not as a planned moment, but as something quieter, something hidden, something real. And that idea alone was enough to send emotions spiraling. But here's where reality begins to draw its line. Despite the viral clips, despite the countless theories, there is no confirmation, no clear visual evidence, no official statement. Throughout the entire live stream, Xiao Zhan remained composed, focused, professional. He didn't react to anything unusual. He didn't acknowledge anyone off camera. There were no visible cues that suggested another celebrity was present. And yet, that silence became its own kind of signal. Because for fans, silence can feel louder than words. Some viewers chose logic. They pointed out that live stream environments are rarely completely controlled. Staff members move in and out. Background noise happens. Audio distortions are common. What fans thought they heard could easily have been something ordinary, but others weren't convinced. Because sometimes what you feel doesn't follow logic. And in this case, What they felt was undeniable. As the live stream came to an end, Xiao Zhan smiled softly, thanked his audience, and signed off with the same calm grace he began with. No hints, no revelations, just a quiet goodbye. But outside that screen, the conversation was far from over. Clips continued to circulate. Discussions grew deeper. Emotions lingered. Because this was never just about whether Wang Yibo was there. It was about what his possible presence meant. The memories it awakened. The connection it reignited. The feeling that something once powerful might still exist somewhere beneath the surface. And maybe that's why this moment matters. Not because of what was proven, but because of what was felt. So now the question isn't just about what happened in that live stream. It's about you. When you listened closely, when you watched those seconds again and again, did you hear it too? Or was it just hope, echoing a little louder than usual?